Good morning. Today is Wednesday, February 9th, 2022. I'm not going to be there today, so you will get these recorded videos from me for math and for ELA. So your do now question. You are going to look through these numbers and choose whether they are odd or even. Let's think back and remember, when we are looking for an even number, it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. All other numbers are odd. We look at the ending number. If there's only one number, then we look at that number. But if there's more than one, we look at the ones place. Okay? So take a minute, go through the do now questions, and choose if they are odd or even. When you are ready, you can continue the video. Alright, so the expectations today, make sure that you watch the whole video and any resources sent with your video and that you complete the exit ticket. Today, make sure you have a quiet environment where you can focus on the meeting. Today's learning target, we want to use measurement and tools to measure lengths of objects, estimate lengths, and compare lengths so that I can measure and use tools to measure lengths of objects, estimate lengths, and compare lengths. And I'll know if I've got it when I can successfully use measurement and tools to measure lengths of objects, estimate lengths, and compare lengths. So our essential question is, can I use measurement to estimate and find the length of objects? If I can, then I've hit today's learning target. If I can't, I need to do a little bit more practice. So we have to really remember, how do I measure? There are a few rules that we have to follow to make sure that we're doing the right thing and we get correct answers. So the first thing is we want to choose the appropriate tool. So there's a ruler. You want to use a ruler for things that are smaller than 12 inches. A ruler is a foot or 12 inches long. A yardstick is 3 feet long. And so it's much longer than a ruler. A measuring tape can measure things that are round or don't have a straight edge. You can wrap the measuring tape around and still get an idea of how long it is. You want to use the correct tool because if you wanted to measure something like a bus, you don't want to take a little bitty ruler and measure the bus when you could use a yardstick and measure it 3 times as quickly. Okay? It would take you a whole lot longer to measure it with a ruler. Then if you're measuring something like you need to hem your pants, you need your pants fixed, then you want to make sure that you can measure the correct length of your pants, but your legs are not just straight lines. So a measuring tape would be a better tool to use for something like that. Or if you were measuring your waist, okay, because it could wrap around you. The second thing is place the item at the 0 of the measurement tool. So you want to look at the ruler or whatever tool that you're using. Make sure that it's at the 0 end. Okay, you've got to look at the numbers, make sure it's at the 0 end. You also want to look and make sure that it's lined up at the very end. If it's not at the very end of it, then it's not going to give you the correct measurement. The next thing is you want to use units. So there's different units we use to measure. There's centimeters, there's inches. Centimeters is represented by cm, inches is in. And you'll learn about meters and feet and yards. There's all different types of units of measurement, so it's important to make sure those units are added to your answer because 7 centimeters is very different than 7 feet. And so if you're talking about you need a rug that would fit in your house, you want to make sure if you need a 7-foot rug that you don't order a 7 centimeter rug that would fit a dollhouse. So you want to make sure that you use those units. You'll have a video link for this song, and it's a measurement song, and it'll help you remember 2 different ways to measure. Okay, so we are going to look at this. We want to make sure first that we have a ruler. This is a small piece of line, so we don't want to have a giant yardstick and be holding it up here trying to measure this little piece of this little line. Okay, we also want to look and make sure that it is lined up at the 0. So the very end of that pink line is at the 0 mark. So we know that part is good. The next thing that we want to do is we want to look at the other end. How far does it go? Wherever this pink line stops, we can draw kind of an invisible line down, and the number that it touches is our answer. So we see a 3 here, but we've got to look at this ruler. Is it inches or centimeters? Okay, so look at the side where your numbers are and see if you think it's inches or centimeters. If you said inches, you are exactly right. Up here at the top it says inches or inch. So we know this is 3 inches. Very good job. This problem says we want to use the ruler to determine if the line was measured in inches or centimeters. Okay, so we see that it's lined up at the very end, the 0 mark, so we're good with that. But we see that it's 7. We see the number 7. If we draw an invisible line down from the end of this pink thing, we have to go all the way to the bottom to reach that number 7. So we're going to come over here, and at the bottom we see we are measuring in centimeters. Okay, centimeters. So you have to draw that invisible line down to find your answer. Which tool would you use to measure a school bus? Would you use a ruler, a yardstick, or a measuring tape? I personally would probably use a yardstick. It's a pretty flat bus, so you could use a yardstick. You could use a measuring tape, so I would accept either of these answers, a yardstick or a measuring tape. Okay, a ruler would just take a lot longer to measure that same amount of space as you could measure with a yardstick or measuring tape. So it would be better to do it in a way that's quicker and more efficient. This problem says, measure with appropriate tools. Meredith's pencil measures 15 centimeters. Randall's pencil measures 4 centimeters less than Meredith's. How long is Randall's pencil? So I'm going to start by looking at some important information. I know 15 centimeters is important. I know 4 centimeters is important. I also see some key words here. It says 4 centimeters less than Meredith's. How long is Randall's pencil? Okay, so I see Meredith's pencil is 15 centimeters. And I know that Randall's is 4 centimeters less. That tells me to get Randall's pencil, I need to subtract 4 so I can understand what the length of his pencil is. Okay, I hope you're working these out at home as well. Okay, so this tells me that Randall's pencil would be 11 centimeters. And if I wanted to go back and check, if I added 4 to 11, I get 15. So that is correct. All right, you guys. So if you have any other questions, you'll have your exit ticket. You will also have a link to the video from up here, the measurement song. So make sure you watch those because they are important, okay? They can help you remember. So I hope you have a great day. Make sure you complete your exit ticket. And if you have any questions, I'll be there tomorrow.